It took me a minute to remember how to go live. I apologize for being a bit late. Um, Welcome. I am Gabrielle, and today I am wearing my crown. I am going to put my phone down now, and hopefully it works well. There is a different setup today, which I should have probably showed y'all. That is my beads. And we're going to go over some of the creations that I've created and talk and, yeah, ask questions. I'll answer. So, first, we'll do thank you. We're going to go over some of the jewelry I've made and, hopefully my 7-year-old don't come in here so I have to fumble the phone because he's not allowed to be on. His face is not allowed to be on, and he wants to come on, and yeah, it's like, no, honey, you're not old enough to make that decision on your own. And mommy says no because that's what mommies have to do sometimes. But guess first I'm gonna show this really cool clasp. It's a button clasp. It means you can put your own jewelry on by yourself because you're not gonna lose the thing, and it's very easy to do up too, even if you can't see it. Unless you're me, and apparently I forgot how to do them with my nails. I should have untwisted it first. But it's scalloped. Okay. It's crooked. That's what the problem is. Okay, that piece is the front. So I was right. It's a little. But it's just a simple little scallop, kind of to dress up the neckline. It's definitely a choker on me. I have a pretty big neck for a woman though, so, but it'll fit around the clavicle most likely for most women. You'd have to have a neck larger than 9.5 for it not to fit because that's what my neck is. I get that from my dad. I know. That sounds wrong. It's been a while since I measured my neck. Oh, that's cool.
What the hell?
You know you're audible, right, baby? My husband is WTH in the background. And I do little steampunky things.
Technical difficulties.
I really love the copper rings on the brass. I think it just really cool. And this one's a magnetic clasp. I don't know why I do this, but I don't stick with one type of clasp. And grab you. I showed you this one, so but if anybody else had not seen it. It's one of my dream catcher necklaces. And this is a toggle. And I think that it just depends on what I feel about the piece at the moment is, let's not pull it too far because it's a 2-strand, not just one necklace. I made the dream catcher first and then had to work at getting those tightly inside of that, the thread tightly inside of it. Thank you. And like I said, I prefer very easy on and off kind of jewelry. So that's the way it sits. And another simple one. This one's also a button clasp. Has little AB glass beads on it. And mother of pearl. And some abalone. Because abalone is really pretty. There we go. Abalone almost reminds me of lapidolite. So there's that. Oh, it was on 2 things. Now, that one, other than it's been sitting, I forgot to. That one right there has, this is howlite. That is turquoise. I could not find, when I made this, the turquoise teardrop, so I found a howlite and I was like, well, you can tell it's not the same stone, but it is pretty, so, and it does have the turquoise on it. And again, the mother of pearl with glass beads in between to separate them. And if I could ever put a necklace on something straight, that would be what it looks like. I'm just getting started. Don't mind me if I seem a little farther away. This one, these beads are resin, but I really like the way they looked. And I put there's little golden balls between the, if I can remember what it's called, hematite. It just slipped my brain. So, it's just a very simple one. And something like this, I normally sell for like $15 because it does have hematite, but it also has wood, and they get more expensive the more they're woven or the more precious stones are on them. And I try to keep some of my pieces reasonable because, let's face it, not everybody can afford $40 for a necklace or more. I have made some that are or more. And I figured last time, seeing I didn't pick them up and bring them down, I would show them. And I have been told I'm absolutely insane because of the needles I use. Okay. That is one of my needles. And that side with the eye in it. If you can see it or not. Okay. You could have said that out loud. right across the room. But that's okay. He was trying to get all the information just in case anybody's trying to find me for work or what have you. But yeah, this is the needles I work with. I used to work with a lot shorter needles. And they started getting harder to find. This is a beading needle. The tiny ones were like this, and everybody thought I was absolutely had lost it working with a needle literally this big. And I was like, they're like, you can't see the hole, you can't see the hole. I'm like, obviously I can see the hole. And this is my favorite string to use, Fireline, because it's tough and it's durable and it lasts. And kind of just pull it with your nail to flatten it out some. And let's see if I can do this on here. You're curving the wrong way. You got to go the other way. Well, you want to curve whatever way you want to curve. So, just eye it first time. See? I don't know why people tell me it's hard to see. Then again, my mom says I had my mom used to tell me when she was alive I had a trick that most people couldn't do, because I can beat a needle with either of my eyes closed. It doesn't matter if it's my predominant eye or my weaker eye. I mean, I wear glasses anyways. I'm nearsighted. This is why I'm not wearing glasses right now. I'm close enough to see. Oh. I hope people are okay. So anyways, something went wrong and I apologize. And apparently when I was going cross-eyed doing this, which only took one time to do, my phone went glitchy. My phone goes glitchy all the time. So that's nothing new. But it's okay. Now, if you're looking for me, and you want me to do work for you, you can message me on Facebook. Absolutely. At Gabrielle E Cragg. But send me a request first, a friend request, and then send me a message and tell me why you're coming to me. That way I will actually pay attention when I see it and tell people. You gotta give me a little time to respond sometimes, because sometimes my phone does not like showing me that there's somebody who's actually messaging me. Unless... Please go see why your brother's screaming like a maniac. Apparently my son had a malfunction. I think he's just mad because I won't let him on. But he might have accidentally hurt himself. He's kind of a daredevil. So.
You stepped on something.
Oh. That's never fun. I've got to break them apart and redo these. These ones were mine. They're my dancer earrings. And not that I've ever danced in an arena, but I did love them. And these ones were done in my birthday colors. Halloween. So lately I've been asking everybody whether I'm a trick or a treat, because you never know what you're getting. You know. But, yeah, these are dancer earrings, and I made them so they curl some instead of just tight hanging down. So, unfortunately, like I said, I will put it on for a second because this one is actually mine. I just got to redo them. make another one too, because somebody did something with my other one and nobody knows what happened. There's this person named It Wasn't Me in my house. Some of y'all might have met them, or at least your children know them. On the other side of the table from me is my 22-year-old daughter. She's my helper. I call her my assistant kid. And apparently it's been so long that I can't. I know they're not closed. But apparently I can't actually find it, which is funny because this one I can always find. Apparently now my earring holes are all being contrary. It's like, no, we're not going to let you show them what it looks like. I'm just going to hang it from my ear right now. It'll sit like things. Excuse me. Okay, so I picked this up. This is a light weaving.
Go.
And it's done with the name of the color is root beer. And that is a serpentine jasper. I absolutely love serpentine jasper. It has a lot of personality. Okay, see. This one, you see how it has the purple in it. And I used fire polish beads that are kind of a cranberry color. Oh, I need a better camera. Oh, this one's super tiny. I have a sister who's under 5 foot tall. And so sometimes my jewelry goes really tiny. Because she used to tell me how hard it was for her to find jewelry. Like when she go look at the beaded bracelets and stuff. So I started making smaller stuff at some point. This is also a simple pattern. And that is one of the patterns that I teach. This necklace is one of my favorite scalloped ones. It catches the light. Hold on. Let's see. Desiree, go get my drink. I'm tickling with her. Goodness me. So anyways, I figured, I think you're the only one in the room, David. Are you in the room?
I can't tell.
I was talking to my husband.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the crown. Well, by tiara. You can't look down when you're wearing one. You have to look straight ahead. If you look down, you'll end up with a very heavy metal object hitting you in the face. Put a tiara on, and you have no other choice but sit with your head held high. And maybe that's the reason why, they came into fashion for young ladies at some point, because you have to hold yourself in a higher regard. You have to hold yourself with more confidence, even if it's a forced confidence because you don't want to look down and beat yourself up with a crown. Because literally I've had them fall off my head looking down, forgetting it was on my head. This one isn't so heavy, it hurts when it falls, like painfully so, unless it pokes you. But it's definitely a good practice to learn to keep your head up, no matter what's going on. So, we should always wear a crown, because it keeps you looking forward. And I don't know this, if you look back too fast, you'll rip some of your hair out. I'm just saying. So I wouldn't recommend that either. I'd recommend just squaring your shoulders and walking straight ahead like you know what you're doing. Because people have a way of exploiting those who look confused. And you don't ever let anybody tell you who you are. You have to inform others who you are. And if somebody tells you you are this, this, and that, don't let it stick in your head. I mean, I've had rough things happen, and I'm still standing, still willing to don a tiara. Just remind myself to look up. Always look straight ahead. Would you like to hear a story about my life? Like just a small story? Because I used to, that's why I wear these now. It's a reminder. Because once upon a time, I was that girl who fumbled everything. So, when I was younger, I was 24, I met somebody and I married them 6 months after I met them. Had my first son. And when she turned 9, I got my stepdaughter. That's my assistant kid. Say hi.
Hi.
She's 22 today. Well, now. She turned 22 June 19th. It was hard. We ended up homeless. Their dad just ditched. My kids never slept in a car or on the streets. And I thought I was going to crumble. I thought I was going to lose it. My business got destroyed. I watched everything I worked for just burn up in the most abrupt way. And I watched a lot of people started to badmouth me because of lies. So I did not defend myself or anything else. I should have. But people are going to believe what they want to believe. So. And it turns out everybody was probably just trying to steal my shine because I was always a go-getter. I was out, friendly, happy. I would sell my jewelry and do my festivals and worked hard, but never was without a smile. My ex, he's not the same type of person I thought he was when we got married. I ended up with all my money getting stolen, being told there was nothing nobody could do because he was my husband. And I was foolish and I put his name on my account. That's what I was told. I was foolish. I was like, we've been married a long time. I thought it was a long time at that time. I put him on my account. Well, after 3 years of marriage, I thought we were good. I was only ever planning on getting married once. He started working out of town before all that happened. And I started praying for my partner to come. And the more I prayed, the more my eyes were opened. He didn't want to come home. I got calls and nasty messages on Messenger. And I was a mess. I was an absolute mess. I felt worthless. And I was like, well, if everybody's saying it, it must be true. Because you're told, well, if everybody's saying it, it must be true. No. Because everybody can spread the same lie too. You just have to trust that. Oh yeah, it was a very, very hard lesson learned, but it was so valuable. So crowns remind us to keep our head up. We look forward. We don't flip around to look back. We don't look at our feet. Our feet are going to look the same no matter what. You know, unless you step on something, then you might want to look. Make sure. Just kind of, at that point, you just kind of hold it. Because obviously, we don't want to hurt ourselves either. But, yeah. I mean, last year has been not so pretty for my family. We've been through a lot, and we're sticking together. At least we still got each other, and we're still working hard on fixing the problems that started. So, and I mean, it's not a problem with the people, it's a problem, financial problems. That certain virus attacked my husband's heart, and he hasn't been able to go back to work in over a year now. And we're trying to get him back to work. And I was already trying to rebuild my brand, but I ended up taking care of him when he was really sick. And I have 3 children. And yes, one of them's an adult, but you got to take care of the people first. And then I looked up one day and said, oh wow, it's my turn to work. They tell me I'm disabled and I'm not going to let that get to me either. I'm like, okay, I can't work a regular job, but I got art. Even when my AC went out last night, well, it was thermostat. I kept repeating, I'm not going to lose it, I'm not going to lose it, I'm not going to lose it. And I was calm. I stayed calm. Got a little cranky for a minute. Then I took a cold shower and I went to bed. And I survived. So, I mean, I've learned maybe people who really do have more to offer, they usually have huge hearts. And people don't want to see those people succeed without them. They want those people to think they need the people who drain them. Thank you. There was a time when I would have, you know, shut down, cried, and I mean ugly cry. But you gotta trust somebody's got your back. At some point, you can't, I went through a while where I didn't trust anybody. I definitely didn't trust me. I was like, no, you're a failure. You're an idiot. You can't do anything, Gab. You just can't. You're just an epic fail. And my my love over there kept telling me I gotta stop being mean to myself. And it didn't matter how many times he said it. I had to remind myself I'm in a body. I'm human in this world. But above that, I'm a spirit. And you just can't let stuff control your life. So, yeah, like I was saying earlier about my work, it's way easier for people to get a hold of me on Facebook. And I tend to work with people. And this is what drove my mother crazy. I miss her dearly. She died in January. Well, she passed. She's not on this mortal plane anymore. She didn't die. She just moved on. And she'd be like, baby, you need to charge more. I've seen you work, and I know what you work with, and I've been to the beading stores and the crafting stores with you on your knees looking at things, knowing that you shouldn't be on concrete and it was concrete floors with a tile over them, and I'd be on my knees looking and reading everything to make sure and really examining to make sure I found the perfect pieces, because jewelry is where I started. I mean, I could say that painting's where I started, but it's really not. I painted as a kid. I liked molding clay when I was a kid. When I was 16, somebody actually got jealous and broke a mask I made. And I love that mask. And it wasn't meant to be a mask people wear. It was just meant to be a decoration. But I put all of me into it. I was putting my hands and my feet into that thing. And somebody got mad at me. And they broke it like 5 minutes before I walked in with my mom. So the art teacher could show my mom my project for the first 9 weeks. And that kind of, back then when I was a teenager, I was rowdy. I would get very mad, and I'd tell people how I felt. And my mom, I don't think she cared for me being that sharp a tongue either. But she was, it doesn't matter how far she is. That's my mom. And she was definitely the best person to raise me. She's a tiny woman, and she was so strong. Oh my gosh. I've never seen such a tiny person not afraid of anything. She was not even 100 pounds soaking wet. And she let you know she was fiery. I said, it's the Irish and the Mohawk. That's what everybody told me about me. Now I'm like, I just want peace. And I want to be able to move forward with everything. But there was a time when I'd give people a run for their money. And, I mean, I never did it out of hostility or hate. I've always loved people. But if somebody did something, I'd let them know they were mean. And I just was not going to talk to them no more. And they better stay out of my way. And now I'm like, I don't say anything. Just walk away from people who purposely do things to hurt you. They're not there for you. They're there. They're there for themselves because they want something they can't get by themselves. So if you're dealing with people like that, you got to understand they're not the treasure. You are. People are attracted to people like that. And they're like, it's like a moth to flames, man. Anything I can do to help somebody, I'm willing to do. And I forgive just as easy. But you can forgive and then decide no, somebody does not exist in your world. It's not for you. Just have to say, not my monkey, not my circus. But when it is your monkey, you cannot blame it on someone else either. Especially if by monkey you mean child. And they're all a little weird, I've learned. He still hasn't come back in. I'm a little concerned. He got quiet. He was watching Pokemon, right?
Somebody talking about Pokemon and making Pokemon out of other Pokemon.
My 7-year-old in Pokemon. So anyways, any questions about anything that I do? I'll be happy to answer. I mean, I'll ramble on all day too if you let me. They call me Gabby for a reason. I can talk. But so okay, I'm about to prove my geekiness. So this one I actually put for $35. And this is one of the ones everybody always tells me it should have a higher price tag on it. I'm like, I still have it, so apparently maybe I should lower the price tag. And everybody's like, yeah, we know how long you work on that thing, and we know what the stone in the middle is. That's a peridot. That is an actual beautiful peridot. And the peridot is attached to a necklace I worked around that is legit a helix. I like DNA apparently. And I remember the first time somebody actually paid attention, they were like, yeah, that's a genetic strand. I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, you know what it is? I'm like, duh, I made it. And they're like, we just thought you made jewelry. We didn't know you were into science. I'm like, no, I'm kind of a geek. I'm kind of a nerd. I like creating. And one of the most complex and so far away things that people still don't understand 100% is a helix. At least genetically for humans. There's still things they're trying to work out with it. And I'm like, okay. But yeah, that's peridot. And it has blingy to it. So who doesn't like blingy? And I am absolutely in love with the frost blue and frost green beads that I made this one out of. Let's see. I'm really, when I get a little extra money, getting a better camera. They're just super pretty. And the fire polish beads on these are glass metallics in a deep green. Definitely need a better camera so that I can actually show the depth of color. So something like this, I charge $35 for. I told my husband if he wanted me to charge more, he better go through my jewelry and check it all out, and he better reprice it because I like seeing people smile. And he's like, you have to be able to pay for what you do, though. I'm like, I've never had a problem finding deals on my beads. And I guess that's because I've always went out and searched them out myself. Thank you. Like I said, you see my name up here. If you put in Gabrielle E Cragg, there should only be one that shows up, and it's definitely going to be me. Because I seriously don't think there is another person with my name too close. I've looked, and I'm the only one I've ever found, so it's EVON, and that might be why, because Yvonne spelled that way is actually, I think, a Hebrew man's name, which we're not getting into. My mom just thought it was a pretty spelling, and I'm like, sure. My first and middle name are French. My last name is Celtic. Nordic something. It's confusing. And I'm Mohawk and Irish. What can I say? Apparently, because my grandmother came from the Iroquois Nation, Mohawk tribe, Canada side. Apparently, getting French names is a more common thing. Although my mom has an Irish name, it's Kathleen. And she gave it to her oldest daughter, my sister. I was supposed to be born October 30th. My mom stopped full labor for me. Just stopped. After having 8 other kids, I was her 9th child. Her labor just stopped. And so I was her first C-section on Halloween, the very next day at 8:30 in the morning at a Catholic hospital. So, and there was only one other baby in the hospital, and that baby was a Hispanic baby, and then I was a darker black hair, really dark eyes. So it kind of confused them because my mom is fairer than me, and she had green eyes. So, my mom was like, I didn't give birth to a boy. I gave birth to a girl. She was awake during the C-section. She was not asleep. It was a live C-section. They knocked her out after I was born. She's like, no, I know I had a girl. And yeah, sure enough, they mixed me and the other baby up, and the other woman didn't exactly speak English, so it took a little bit to get me back to my mom, but my mom was beside herself. She was like, you better bring me my daughter. And I'm like, yeah, I could see that, because my mom had 6 sons before she had 1 daughter, and she had all of her daughters after her 6 sons. So, and I was her 3rd daughter, so maybe she was still, in that. I'm just trying to fix I think my mom was just trying to fix the balance between 6 sons. She almost got there. But after my baby sister, my dad was like, honey, you had 2 C-sections. Can get your tubes tied. And my mom got them tied. My dad had to beg her. He's like, we don't need 12 children. My mom made it close though. 10 is very close. Especially in children. And I'm like, I don't know how you did it, Mom. I used to tell her all the time. I said, my 3 drive me every which way. And she was this tough little lady who had it. It's crazy. So I guess I do definitely have to be tough because I have to, you know, honor my mama's legacy of being a baddie. Okay, so this actually, I got the idea from one of the arm warbands, like the warriors wear on their arm. And I was looking in a beading book, and this one was absolutely a joy to make. There we go. You can actually see how many beads. But yeah, this again. Oh, wow. Hey, baby. This bracelet fits me now. That's crazy. When I first made it, it didn't. But yeah, it's a cuff bracelet. Just simple. I like delicate things. I don't usually make gaudy things in jewelry. Big things. I think you could probably tell that. So, big painting, little pieces of jewelry. Little dainty piece of jewelry. And paper mache. You go big with the paper mache. And you have to change the chemical bond of things so it works right. I think I use math and science a lot in my work. So anyways, this is how I organize my beads. That's a bunch of seed beads in that tower. There's more seed beads there. I need like 20 more towers. But seeing that is the first thing I started doing, it was the first thing I started collecting on. And I actually sat my desk up with my art supplies. I am thinking about just going hog wild and making a bunch of stuff and cleaning out my carport. Well, that's what we're going to do. And put tables up, and I'm going to have an art show right in my front yard. It sounded like a good idea to me. So art show, my front yard, and we just got to set up the day and time. We're almost at an hour, and I did not show y'all much, huh? For anybody who comes in later and watches this, hopefully I'll figure it out and I'll get all my links down there. So, even you, Justine, if you want to come back and check out the live in rerun, maybe in the next few days, probably about 2 days. Hopefully I'll have all my links underneath and you'll be able to find everything. I actually do have a Redbubble store of my more abstract art being placed on objects. And it tickles me pink. It honestly does, because I used to only draw for myself. I was showing them the boxes. I like detail. I'm never going to stop it. Everything I do has quite a bit. I like complex design. Yeah, definitely. She seen these last time I did a live. I took the most impressive ones down and showed her. Whoops. Clear coat. I was like, please don't let it be glass. Anyways, to whoever watches this in the future, and whoever is interested in my work, I'm going to end up putting my links below. That way y'all can find me. I hope everybody, as usual, is having an amazing day. An amazingly blessed day. And I hope Creator blesses you in ways that you need. And I hope the stress of the world is never too much for you to bear. And never stop shining. Always wear your crown. Especially on days you feel like you just can't look up. Keep yourself. Doesn't matter what anybody else says. Know you're a diamond and you're sparkling. Know you are a king or a queen and you got this. Much love. Until next week, this is still Gabrielle, and I hope y'all have a